I'd like to call this meeting of the Municipal Council to order at 7 o'clock. Please join me for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules so we can open up for public comment on Zoom this evening.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. This requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. There will be no minutes for approval. We have 2 public hearings, so I will recognize Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. January 16, 2024, first public hearing regarding the amendments to section 12-3.3P of the revised ordinances and delete in its entirety and replace with the word reserved, so as to avoid the need for the city to renumber other provisions and adjust associated internal cross-references.
Thank you. Do we have anybody to speak in favor? Anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? Seeing none, is that in? Councilor Tavares, do you see any need to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I declare this public hearing closed. And Madam Clerk, would you please go on to the reading of the second communication, please?
Certainly.
Public hearing.
Certainly. January 16, 2024, public hearing regarding the proposed amendments to Chapter 13, including the following. Number 1, changing the title of Chapter 13 from Personnel to Human Resources, including the table of contents and index. 2, deleting the phrase Personnel Department in every instant and replacing it with Department of Human Resources. 3, deleting the phrase Personnel Director and/or Personnel Consultant in every instance and replacing it with Director of Human Resources. Number 4, deleting the phrase Personnel Board in every instance and replacing it with Human Resources Board.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to speak in favor? Anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? I'm only asking for once because there's no one in the audience other than our friends from Sun Chronicle and some other friends. So that being said, Councilor Angelo, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
No, sir, I do not.
Thank you. I declare that public hearing closed.
That concludes the public hearings.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion to enter into committee of the whole.
Second.
Thank you, Vice President Dolan. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are now in committee of the whole. If there is anyone who wishes to bring any business before the municipal council. I believe we have someone on Zoom. One moment, Mr. Oh, yep, we can hear you. Thank you, Mr. Kerr, for joining us this evening. For the record, could you please give us your name and address? For the record, please.
Absolutely. So my name is Andrew Kerr, and I choose not to waive my Fourth Amendment right. So I'm going to start here. I would like to bring attention very first to the Municipal Council Rules and Procedure, specifically Section 3, subsection 8-3.3 and 8-3.4. These are rules on speech and are unconstitutional and were overturned by the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court in Barron v. Kalinda on March 7th of 2023. I would immediately ask the council to change the rules to follow the law, as I will be following up with the complaint to the ACLU to ensure your compliance, as they are the ones that had won the initial lawsuit in the first place. I want to start by saying my journey, or rather my battle to be able to speak here, has been a long and strenuous one, solely because I am disabled. The city of Attleboro, from the mayor, D. Simone, to the municipal council, headed by Jay Delisio with their unconstitutional rules, to the ADA coordinator, William A. McDonough, to the city solicitor, Peter Mello, to the city clerk, Kate Jackson. All of these individuals have actively been trying to prevent me from speaking here today. Why, might you ask? Well, it's actually a funny story. In 2022, I spoke out about illegal activity I witnessed at the Lassalette voting station at the mayor election the year prior. I spoke out at a city council meeting, and that was not well liked by Council President Delisio. I spoke about the corruption of his good friend George Thatcher Jr. and his illegal activities as the head of elections for the city and the city's violation of election laws for many years, over 20, as said by Mr. Thatcher, which he later acknowledged. While investigating, I found that even when Mr. Thatcher admitted that the city was wrong, he lied to the people as well as to the Sun Chronicle in his response. I felt it was my duty to notify the people of this matter, and I made it known to Mr. Thatcher and President Delisio that I would do so at the next city council meeting, where he would have been appointed 2 weeks later. The night of the meeting, I had 2 police officers come to my home. They told me at first they thought I was going to kill myself because I filed a public records request. Then they insisted that I must be a drug addict. They told me that they were sent to my house by the chief of police, and that someone at City Hall had called him and told the chief that I was threatening officials. This was incredibly troubling, but I ignored these tyrants and went to City Hall. Upon my arrival, President Jay Delisio came over to me to tell me that I would be able to speak, but not about anything in regards to the election. That I could only complain about something one time, and that was it. I was going to ignore him, but then he purposely moved around the schedule to shift the committee of the whole to a later time, to wait out my physical disability. That only allows me to sit for a certain amount of time before I become in great pain. He chose to use his time, that meeting, to slander my name. After that meeting, I was not going to let any of these disgusting acts slide. So I decided to file public records requests to continue my investigation to uncover the truth. Upon filing requests, I received pushback from City Clerk Kate Jackson herself. Ms. Jackson does not like to follow the law and is only looking out for her friends in my experience with her. She has violated the Public Records Act numerous times, and I was forced to file a lawsuit against the city to force her compliance. The lawsuit stems from her egregious non-response to many of my requests. And for the people of Attleboro, this has cost you, the taxpayers, $15,000 to exercise an insurance policy to hire attorneys to fight me in court. Now, I want everyone to know that I am just a disabled guy. I'm a dad of 2, and I have no law degree whatsoever. Upon myself filing a lawsuit against the city pro se, or like I said, by myself, the city did not use the solicitor Peter Mello to fight me, but rather used an insurance policy, or again, more of your tax dollars, because they are afraid that I am going to win the suit, and it's going to cost them a lot more money to get the records that I had requested. The records I requested, I believe, will show many people in different levels of the city of Attleboro government inspiring to violate my rights and intimidate me into not speaking. These records will show that other officials went out of their way to try and protect their friends instead of following the law, and have put your, my, and our tax dollars at risk. Now, this all happened in 2022, and it's 2024 now. So you might be asking, why haven't I said anything until this moment? Well, as I said earlier, the city has been actively preventing me from speaking out. They have tried to establish that solely because I am disabled, I am a second-class citizen. But not only that, I can only come in to speak at these meetings if I am in City Hall. I had advised them that due to my physical disability, for the last year and a half I'd advised them this, that I cannot come into City Hall, and have asked for a reasonable accommodation, which Bill McDonough and Peter Mello refused. At first, Peter Mello, a man who I wouldn't hire to represent me for a parking ticket, and clearly the city didn't trust to fight me in court, this is our city solicitor, folks, advised with his terrible thoughts that the ADA coordinator for the city should not worry about that pesky Americans with Disabilities Act, and only to focus on following state law. You can see why this joke of a man is not fighting a pro se litigant in court. Since then, I have only been able to speak here tonight because I filed the mayor's plea. After the mayor lied to me last year and told me she could do nothing, but only when I told her that I would file a Section 1983 lawsuit against her in her individual capacity, did she then decide to step up and do the right thing. Since that moment, obviously not trying to get sued, the mayor has been very annoyed to help out a disabled person and has since blocked my emails, another violation of the law. I have filed suit against the city of Attleboro again, pro se, in Massachusetts Federal District Court. If I win my suit, I will not profit one dime, but I will have secured the largest Title II violation in the history of the state of Massachusetts, as well as the First Circuit. I do not file these suits lightly or take any pleasure out of doing this. This has eaten up a substantial amount of my time. I'm a father of two under the age of 2, and I'm having to do this alone because no one wants to help. Even the state did not want to help. They acknowledged that I was right with the ADA violations, that the city was violating the law, but left it up to me to get justice. I need to stress this to every individual in the city of Attleboro, that there are bad eggs in the Attleboro city government. The city cannot manage to pave their roads, even though we have a gas tax and an excise tax paid directly to the city to do so. Yet, they can so quickly risk almost $6 million in ADA Title II fines to keep me from talking. Yes, $6 million in fines you were looking at for the 42 violations, President Delizio. I wonder why this might be. Because these people are corrupt. And so far, I'm the only one with enough guts and time to stand up to these bullies. Council President Delizio, you are the president of a council for a city of 50,000 people. Why do you believe that you are above the law? Why do you believe that a state and federal court must allow my remote participation in court cases, but you do not need to allow disabled citizens an avenue to redress their grievances with their public officials? Why do you believe that disabled people shouldn't be able to participate remotely, and that only members of the council can? If you pay attention, folks, and look at the council rules, only the city council members can participate remotely. Other than me right now, through threatened litigation, no one else can participate remotely. Why is it that I am the only person here able to speak remotely and no other members of the public can? Solely because I filed a suit against the city? These are more examples of discrimination, but a targeted one. I am speaking to the members of the council. I am informing each and every one of you that you have 1 week to amend the rules and to fix the violations that I have mentioned above and allow the remote participation by policy for any and all disabled people to follow the Americans with Disabilities Act and the law. Not only should you allow remote participation for all citizens, as the goal of a government is to be transparent with the people, I guarantee everybody here, and I'm speaking to the citizens, I guarantee you that after I'm done here tonight, the council will decide to change the rules for the first time in the history of the city and start to limit the public comment time. Because these people are afraid of transparency and are afraid of me exposing them to you, the fine people of the city of Attleboro. I want to stress that I am putting each and every member of the city council on notice. If you do not amend and fix these egregious policies, I will be filing suit against every single one of you in federal court to ensure the compliance. The city has an insurance policy. They're allowed to have up to 3 cases per year with a maximum of a $1 million coverage, but they have to spend a $15,000 deductible per case. If I were to file suit against all of the members of this council right now, just so the members of the council know, only President Delizio is covered by this protection. Not any one of you guys are covered by this protection. Only President Delizio by the chapter. I have filed public records requests to receive these insurance policies. I can tell you this for sure. None of you guys will be covered by this Section 1983 suit, and you will have to pay for these costs out of your own pocket. Do not fall prey to Jay Delizio and his corrupt ways. Follow the law and do what is right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kerr. Do we have anyone else to speak in favor, to speak at committee of the whole?
Well, I have a question, can I? So are you, Mr. Carr, am I saying that right, Mr. Carr? Are you a citizen?
Mr. Kerr, yes.
Carr, okay, thank you. Do you live in Attleboro?
I choose not to waive my Fourth Amendment rights. My geographical location is completely irrelevant on where I live. I can tell you that I was born and raised in the city of Attleboro, and I lived at 31 Chapel Hill Lane for 27 years of my life. I can tell you that. So if you're trying to contest my allegiance or my dedication to the city, I would ask you, were you born in this city? Have you lived here for 27 years? That would be my question to you.
Yes, I was.
Okay, was every other member of the council born in this city? Have they all been here for 27 years?
I'm not really sure.
Mr. Kerr, thank you for your comments this evening.
Well, hold on, President Delicio. She was asking me questions. You cannot interrupt her. That is against the own rules.
I did not.
Hold the time back. Are you done with your
I
questions?
am, thank you for answering.
Thank you. President Delicio, please follow the rules, your own rules, please.
Thank you. Anyone else to speak at committee of the whole? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to arise from committee of the whole.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Councilor Foa, I will be reinstituting the special committee on rules and procedure, and I will have you as the chair of that. That being said, the first piece of business to go in there will be the comments made by Mr. Kerr, so we can address the comments that he made here this evening. Thank you. We will now go on to a reading of the mayor's communication, and prior to recognizing Madam Clerk, just a reminder that the mayor's communication is available on the city's website under the mayor's page. Copies are printed outside the council office, and per request, they can be emailed when you email Virginia at council@cityofattleboro.us. Madam Clerk, thank
Thank you,
you.
Mr. President. January 16th, 2024. Dear municipal councilors, as a growing and increasingly diverse gateway city, it is important that Attleboro welcome and support residents, business owners, and visitors in all aspects across the city, and that we foster an environment that represents the many different cultures, backgrounds, and perspectives that make up our unique and dynamic community. Several residents have inquired about the creation of a diversity committee to better accomplish these important objectives, and I agree that it is time for such a committee in the city. Accordingly, I respectfully request that the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro be amended by adding the following: 2-22 Diversity Committee.
You may waive the rest of the reading. Councilor Tavares, that'll be going to ordinances, elections, legislative matters. Would you like to call for a public hearing on February 20th?
Yes.
Okay, motion is in order. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
As Lori Sawyer has been elected to the municipal council, she has submitted her resignation from the Council on Human Rights. Please join me in thanking Ms. Sawyer for her service to the city.
That's an FYI, and thank you, and we're glad to have you on this committee now.
Thank you.
As you all know, as long-term chair of the Public Safety Committee, former Councilor Peter Blair was a zealous advocate for public safety matters and an ardent supporter of the Attleboro Police Department. In gratitude for his service, it is my honor to appoint Peter to the Board of Police Commissioners. Accordingly, I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Peter Blair of 50 Ridgewood Road, Attleboro, to fill an unexpired term on the Board of Police Commissioners, term to expire February 2027.
Personal Veterans Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Christopher Lawrence of 10 Como Drive, Attleboro, to fill an unexpired term on the Cable Advisory Commission, term to expire February 2025, supporting documents provided.
Personal Veterans Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Logan Rabacho to fill an unexpired term on the Youth Commission, term to expire February 2027, supporting documents provided. I hope I didn't ruin that last name.
I think you did just fine. Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Aidan Rivet to fill an unexpired term on the Youth Commission, term to expire February 2027, supporting documents provided.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Veterans Agent Ben Quell regarding the donation of a gift card totaling $20 from Rhea White. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body to accept this generous donation to the City of Attleboro, supporting documents provided.
You're off the hook, Mike. This will go to city property and claims for now. Thank you.
I respectfully submit a communication from Veterans Agent Ben Quell regarding the donation of gift cards totaling $295 from the Attleboro Chapter Daughters of the American Revolutions. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body to accept these generous donations to the City of Attleboro, supporting documents provided.
City property and claims, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Park and Forestry Derek Corsi regarding the donation of 1,000 promotional $5 Dunkin' gift cards from Duffy Shanley Incorporated on behalf of the Dunkin' Corp. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body to accept these generous donations to the City of Attleboro, supporting documents provided.
City property and claims, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Park and Forestry Derek Corsi regarding the need to replenish funds to the heating account due to internal transfers made to expedite unexpected repairs. The funds were used to repair a section of fence lining the river at the Balfour Riverwalk and repair structural issues with the articulation mower arm on the roadside mower. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to transfer $6,800 from account 11241000-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 1650100-521010 Park Heat, supporting documents provided.
Public Works, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Director of Park and Forestry Derek Corsi regarding the receipt of the Massachusetts Office of Business Development grant for Capron Park Zoo. The City of Attleboro's Capron Park Zoo has been awarded $90,000 in state funds to help support the Capron Park Zoo in the areas of visitors' experience, new equipment, exhibit refurbishment and repair, and to support the overall animal welfare and zoo operations. Although this grant does not require any matching funds, the contract states that all funding should be spent or committed by June 30th, 2024. In accordance with Chapter 1, Section 12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body approve expending of such funds and any future grant amendments, supporting documents provided.
Thank you. I'm making a change. Initially, that was going to go to Vice President Dolan, but we'll send that to Finance due to the capital nature of the project.
Got it. For your information, I'd like to inform your honorable body that I have made Recreation Program Coordinator Tim Killian the Acting Director of Recreation. He will fill this acting position for 90 days.
It's an FYI. Thank you.
I respectfully submit a communication from Acting Director of Recreation Tim Killian regarding the need for funds for Briggs Pool repairs. During the 2023 pool season, our certified pool operators determined there was a leak in the pool. Building Commissioner Bill McDonough inspected the pool and deemed the pool safe for use by residents. However, it was clear that we would need to determine the cause of the leak and have the necessary repairs done prior to the 2024 summer season. The pressure tests were completed by American Leak Detection, ALD. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $66,000 from account 11241000-578380 Citywide Reserve Fund for Capital to account 11241000-599300 Citywide Transfer to Capital Fund, and to further transfer $66,000 to Fund 3579-499600 Briggs Pool renovation transfer from general fund, supporting documents provided.
Public Works, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Personnel Director Lynn Davin requesting proposed changes to the personnel rules and regulations for exempt employees. The proposed changes are consistent with the APA and Attleboro Firefighters collective bargaining agreements. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body approve the following changes. Article, is that,
You may waive the reading.
okay, thank you.
That'll go to Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
Thank you.
And Mike, just to keep in the back of your mind, when you bring that out, it has to, in the motion, say that it needs to be in effect by 7/1/24.
7/1/24.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
For your information, I regret to inform your honorable body, we have received the resignation of Stephen Escobar from the Taxation Aid Committee. Please join me in thanking Mr. Escobar for his service to the city.
Thank you, Mr. Escobar, and that is an FYI.
I respectfully submit a communication from Director of Park and Forestry Derek Corsi regarding the need for funds to complete the Cape and Park Zoo Comprehensive Master Plan. On April 7th, 2022, your honorable body approved an appropriation request of $100,000 to hire a consulting firm for the preparation of the Comprehensive Master Plan and Strategic Plan for Cape and Park Zoo. During the process of completing the master plan, the scope of work changed slightly for BIA Studio. The scope change was due to the lack of an accurate site survey of the existing grounds. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $5,600 from account 1124-1000-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 1660100-584059 Cape and Park Zoo Master Plan supporting documents provided.
Finance Committee, please.
I hereby request your honorable body to schedule a public hearing pursuant to Section 16-2.2 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro as amended to lay out a portion of Rathbun Willard Drive as a public way, length of 1,842.76 feet from Station 0-40.86 to Station 18 plus 01.90, and accept said way and any related drainage, water, or sewer facilities or easements, all as shown on a plan and profile entitled Street Acceptance Plan portion of Rathbun Willard Drive and Brennan Way, dated October 20th, 2023, prepared by Alicia A. Zukowski, RPE, and Daniel F. Fleming, PLS, of Samoit's Consultants, Incorporated, which plan and profile have been deemed satisfactory to the Superintendent of Public Works. Enclosed, please find the necessary documents.
Zoning and land use, please. And Council Sawyer, would you like to call for a public hearing on February 20th?
Yes.
Is there a second? Thank you. Motion's in order. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
I hereby request your honorable body to schedule a public hearing pursuant to Section 16-2.2 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro as amended to lay out a portion of Brennan Way as a public way, length of 224.50 feet from Station 0 plus 30 to Station 2 plus 54.50, and accept said way and any related drainage, water, or sewer facilities or easements, all as shown on a plan and profile entitled Street Acceptance Plan portion of Rathbun Willard Drive and Brennan Way, dated October 20th, 2023, prepared by Alicia Zukowski, RPE, and Daniel F. Fleming, PLS, of Samoit's Consultants Incorporated, which plan and profile have been deemed satisfactory to the Superintendent of Public Works. Enclosed, please find the necessary documents.
Zoning and land use, and Councilor Sawyer, would you like to call for a public hearing on February 20th?
Yes, I would. Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Motion passes.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Wastewater Thomas Hayes regarding the need for funds to pay an employee for job-related certification received in fiscal year 2023. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $75 from account 6000-578300 Wastewater Enterprise Fund Reserve Fund for transfer to account 6000-578020 Wastewater Enterprise Fund previous year's bills, supporting documents provided.
Public Works Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Water Courtney Allen regarding equipment that the Water Department would like to surplus. There was no interest in listed items from any of the departments. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition, supporting documents provided.
City Property and Claims, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from former Director of Recreation, Dennis Walsh, regarding equipment that the Recreation Department would like to surplus. There was no interest in the item listed below from any of the departments. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition, supporting documents provided.
City Property and Claims, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Elections Officer Manager Sharon Fortune regarding equipment that the Elections Office would like to surplus. There was no interest in the listed items from any of the departments. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition, supporting documents provided.
City property and claims,
I
please.
respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointments of the following named residents to the Sustainability Commission, each for a 3-year term. Erin Connell, Mike Davis, Al Henry, Tucker McNulty, Ethan Pipes, Kenneth Salome, Dan Schlingeter, and Dave Rowlands. Terms to expire February 2027, supporting documents provided.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
For your information, after a slight delay due to changes in the administration, I am pleased to report that the Council on Aging Needs Assessment and Feasibility Study is now complete. While we await printed colored copies of the report, a link to the report can be found on the Council on Aging Department webpage. As you will recall, the feasibility study was largely prompted by the 2020 Aging in the City of Attleboro Community Needs Assessment and was further warranted by space and parking constraints at the current COA location at 25 South Main Street. During the study, 10 potential locations throughout the city were considered, including both municipal and private property. After extensive evaluation, consideration, and discussion, and with feedback from the Municipal Building Commission, the COA Director and board members, city administration staff, and residents, the feasibility study consultant determined that the best location and maximum value would be accomplished by the adaptive reuse of the former Highland Clubhouse. The reuse of the clubhouse was also the preferred option of my office, the MBC, COA board members, COA staff, and members of the public who attended the meetings. Highland is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful locations in the city. Locating the attended the meetings. Located the new senior center. They will afford plenty of parking, ample office and meeting space, a wide variety of outdoor programs, and other opportunities for our senior population in the community at large to utilize this valuable city asset. The estimated construction cost involved with this project is $14.4 million, and I am currently working with the city's finance team to determine the optimal way to fund this important initiative. Relatively, I am also coordinating with Park Superintendent Derek Corsi on creating a vision for the larger Highland property, which we hope to present to your honorable body sometime this spring.
Thank you, that's an FYI and also very good news. Thank you.
I have received a recommendation from Budget and Finance Director Mason Ward about the sale of 135 County Street. As you may recall, by vote taken on May 14, 2019, the council declared 135 County Street and associated 0 Chorus Street property available for disposition, subject to the facade restriction. Subsequently, 3 requests for proposals, RFP, for the property were issued to no avail. I am pleased to inform you that after meeting with staff to discuss the situation, a 4th RFP was written with focus on mixed-rate housing, including a specific requirement that there be units available for low-income veterans. The RFP was posted in late August 2023 and yielded 3 proposals to purchase the property. 1 proposal was disqualified as it was submitted after the deadline. After conducting a thorough and comprehensive evaluation of the proposals and interviewing the proposing teams in accord with the requirements of Chapter 30B of the Massachusetts General Laws, the Evaluation Committee has recommended that Conley and Partners LLC be declared the most advantageous prosper in response to the RFP for the disposition of the 135 County Street property. Please note that unless directed otherwise by bond counsel and as stipulated in the loan order for the high school building project, the net proceeds of the sale of the 135 County Street property will be used to defray the debt costs related to the high school project, although the mechanisms by which that will occur has yet to be determined. Accordingly, pursuant to Section 2-11.6 of the revised ordinances, I respectfully request the Honorable Municipal Council select Conley and Partners LLC as the party to whom the 135 County Street and 0 Cora Street properties should be sold, subject to a purchase and sale agreement acceptable to the mayor and city solicitor. Supporting documents provided.
Finance Committee, please.
Yes. I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Joanne Lynch, 172 Richardson Avenue, to serve on the Veterans Graves Officer for a term of 1 year. Term to expire February 2025. Supporting documents provided.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Attleboro Public Schools Director of Finance, Mark Furtado, regarding the following fiscal year 23 fiscal obligations that were not received in time to be processed in the normal fiscal year 23 business cycle.
Finance Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Director of Budget Administration, Mason Lord, regarding the needs for funds for exempt COLA employees, earned time payments, and internal promotions. In order to have adequate funding in departmental salary accounts for the remainder of fiscal year, I hereby request your honorable body approve the following transfers.
Personnel, Veterans, Human Services, please.
I respectfully submit a communication, Personal Director Lynn Davin and Budget Administration and Director Mason Lord, regarding the need for funds for the police body camera stipends. A body camera stipend was negotiated into the contract between the city and the Attleboro Police Association during the negotiations for contract dated 2020 to 2023. The first year of the annual stipend will be included as part of the fiscal year 2025 operating budget. The $825 stipend is now due to all of the officers pursuant to Article 17, Section 6 of the contract. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body appropriate $67,650, account 1000-359000, general fund, fund balance undesignated, to account 121101000-519909, police body camera stipend. Supporting documents provided.
Public Safety and Emergency Management, please.
Sincerely, Kathleen D. Simone, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll now go on to a reading of clerk's communication.
Next communication, Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. We have received a Class 2 renewal application from Seacon Gas and Repair, doing business as 123 Mobile, 300 County Street, with 4 customer parking spaces and 9 display spaces.
License Committee, please.
We have received an amended Class 2 license application from Your Mechanic, doing business as Better Auto, 473 Washington Street, with 10 customer parking spaces and 21 display spaces.
License Committee, please.
We have received a letter from Ken Batacher, Executive Director of the Attleboro Retirement Board, stating that PERAC has recently circulated the required fiscal year 2025 appropriation.
Copy all councilors, please.
That concludes the communication for this evening.
Thank you very much, and then we'll now go into committee reports, and we will begin with Councilor Cobus. I almost said, as always, with Councilor Waterman, but that was then, this is now.
Outstanding. One second. All right. From the docket of January 2nd, 2024, I move to transfer $45,000 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Treasurer Legal Services.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
And this is just to refill the legal services account because they went through it a little bit faster than expected, but I encourage people to support it.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Cobus.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
That concludes the business for the Finance Committee. I call for committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Foa.
I move to approve the expending of funds and any future grant amendments regarding the recently awarded Community Compact IT grant in the amount of $150,000, which is intended to make government more efficient and make it easier to interact with your local government.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
This was discussed in committee, and it will permit the digitization of records and the destruction of some other records, related records.
Thank you. Do we have additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote beginning with Councilor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
Reporting for.
One moment.
Sorry.
Council,
One moment, please.
no worries. You're doing great.
That is all the business that this committee, the IT and Infrastructure Committee, has this week, and I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, well done. Councilor Lavoy.
Thank you. Reporting for licensing committee, we have no business this evening, and we will call for a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank
Councilor
you.
Reynolds.
Thank you. Reporting for City Property and Claims Committee from the docket of January 2nd, 2024. I move to accept the donation of $60 in Stop and Shop gift cards from veteran Frank McKenzie to the Attleboro Veterans Service Office.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
I have none.
Additional questions or comments? Before we go into the voice vote, just a reminder, as it is the first full committee, that at a voice vote, we all have to vote either yay, nay, or abstain. That being said, we will entertain a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
From the docket of January 2nd, 2024, I move to accept the donation of $800 in Stop and Shop gift cards from the Holiday Spirit Committee to the Council on Aging.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
I have none.
Additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
That is all the business that City Property and Claims Committee has this evening, but I would like to call a committee meeting at the next.
We'll do that for you, Councilman.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Vice President Dolan.
Thank you. Reporting for Public Works Committee from the docket of January 2nd, 2024. I move to appropriate $40,000 from account Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings to account Water Enterprise Fund trench repair.
Second.
Thank you, Council Holmes. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We discussed in committee.
Additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Cobus.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of January 2nd, 2024, I move to appropriate $69,492 from account Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings to account Water Enterprise Fund Lights and Power to replenish these funds.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We discussed in committee on this as well.
Additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of January 2nd, 2024, I move to transfer $7,500 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Recreation Lights and Power.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, we discussed in committee.
Additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Cobus.
Mr.
Yes.
He's
Mr.
excited.
Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds? Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares? President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
That's all the business for the Public Works Committee, and we call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you very much, Councilor Holmes.
Thank you. Reporting for Public Safety and Emergency Management this evening. There's no business. I'll call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Angelo.
Thank you, President Delicio. Reporting for Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee for the docket of January 2nd, 2024, entertain a motion to approve the appointment of John Wright to fill the 3-year term of Zoo Director, term to expire 2027.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
One comment to say is we will have John in here next week to meet the council and discuss his plan for the zoo. And I know the city is very excited about John being here. Comes with a great background, and this is going to be a great thing.
Excellent, thank you. Looking forward to meeting him. Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
That's all for Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee. A call for meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, Councilor Sawyer.
Thank you, President Delasoya. Reporting for Zoning and Land Use Committee. I have 2 items tonight. From the docket of January 2nd, 2024, I move to approve expending funds and any future grant amendments regarding the award of a municipal vulnerability preparedness grant in the amount of $101,250 from the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Emergency Affairs, EOEEA, with part of the local match, consisting of in-kind services worth $2,350 provided by the Director of Planning and the Environmental Planner.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
This was discussed in committee.
Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of January 2nd, 2024, I move to transfer $33,750 from the account Citywide Reserve for Capital to the account Citywide Transfer to Grant, and to further transfer $33,750 to account MVP Green Stormwater Feasibility Municipal Distribution to satisfy the requisite cash match for the MVP grant.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
This was also discussed in committee.
Thank you. Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll have roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Cobus.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
That concludes the business of the Zoning and Land Use Committee, and I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Well done, like a pro. Councilor Waterman.
The Transportation and Traffic Committee has no business tonight. We will meet at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Tavares.
Thank you, President Delicio. Ordinances, elections, and legislative matters has no business for this evening, but we call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Angelo.
We have no business for compensation classification, and we call for a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Tavares.
The special committee on tax abatement has no business this evening, but we call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. We have several pieces of new business, but before we get there, we have one piece of old business, which I will recognize Councilor Reynolds.
Thank you. So I'd like to, for City Property and Claims Committee, rescind the vote number 15 from December 19, 2023, due to an incorrect amount on the vote. And that was vote 15 voted 9 yeas, 0 nays. Holmes and Conti were absent to accept $75 in gifts donated to the Veterans Office from the Holiday Spirit Committee.
Second.
And we just need to, there's another piece.
Oh, and replace it with,
Thank you.
I was going to read that as the second one, but okay. And then replace it with a move to accept $750 in gift cards donated to the Veterans Office from the Holiday Spirit Committee.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
No, it was just a miscommunication. 75 was read in twice, maybe even 3 times, and it really should have been $750, so it allows us to read it in this way.
Terrific. And from a bookkeeping standpoint, and
Yes.
quite important, so thank you. Any other questions or comments? And as you'll see, these things happen from time to time. Human error, will all make mistakes, and it happens. So, that being said, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
That is just all the
That
old
is all.
business.
That's it.
The old business.
That's it. Motion passes, and now we move on. For the first piece of new business, I will recognize Councilor Dolan.
I move to reappoint Deborah Gould of 386 South Washington Street, North Attleboro, for a 2-year term as auditor, term to expire February 2026.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Nope, this is just for the reappointment of Deb Gould.
Okay. Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We will recognize Councilor Dolan.
I move to reappoint Virginia Stewart Baker of 101 South Avenue, Attleboro, for the 2-year term as council assistant, term to expire February 2026.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, this is just, again, for the new business to reappoint Virginia.
Thank you. Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. I will be referring both of those pieces of business to Personnel, Veterans, Human Services Committee. Councilor Dolan.
I understand where I am. I'm right here, right? Oh, wait, where's my, I don't have the second page. Oh, I'm missing my other one. I move to refer for the study and recommendation regarding public access to public hearings and at committee of the whole.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
None. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Additional questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. That will go to the Special Committee on Rules and Procedures, please. Thank you. No worries.
There's another piece that's on the agenda, but I don't have it here.
And then we're moving on to your piece.
Sorry, it's on the agenda. I move to refer for study and recommendation, oh, no, excuse me, hold on. Where's why can't I see it? Oh, right here, excuse me. I move to refer for study and recommendation to install an RRFB, paint the crosswalk and complete the sidewalk to meet ADA compliance at the entrance to Hyman Fine Elementary School. Cross streets are Oak Hill Ave and Lee Street.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
This is just to send to committee and we can discuss there.
Okay. Councilor Holmes.
Oh, yeah, I think we should do this for all, I think this is great. That we should do is look at all the schools. That's my only comment.
Thank you. Additional questions or comments? Seeing none, this is a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. That will go to Public Works. And for the last piece of new business this evening, we'll recognize Councilor Kobus.
Thank you. I move to refer the following to committee: a resolution of the Attleboro Municipal Council suggesting a feasibility study for transitioning to a municipal electricity provider.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
This is based on one of the last storms we had. We were without power. In Ward 3, I know I was without power for over 24 hours. And then on Clifton Street, right when you drive over the town limit into North Attleboro, the next house over in North Attleboro, the lights were all on, where right in Attleboro, all the lights were off, and all of Ward 3, the lights were off for the longest time. And the more I started digging into these municipal power companies, the more they sound like a great idea. I'm still not convinced that it is the right plan, but this is a resolution encouraging the administration to do a feasibility study and encouraging the administration to look into it a lot more.
Terrific. Additional questions? Councilor Angelo, then Councilor Reynolds.
Just say I completely support this. I think it's a great idea to at least look into it and see if it's affordable for the city. I've had people say to me the one thing they like the best about North Attleboro is the electric department. So I think that's a great thing to bring out and fully support it.
Great, thank you. Councilor Reynolds.
Yeah, I grew up in this area too, and I would suggest the same thing, whether it's North Attleboro, Mansfield does the same. It seems the repairs are quicker, if it's a local entity. So I like the idea of it too, if it's feasible.
Yes.
That's the deal.
Thank you. Councilor Voigt, then Councilor Kobus.
I just want to echo everyone else and say that I think it's a good idea to look into, and I know that it's a great selling point for Attleboro if it was to be enacted. I know Taunton, Mansfield, and North Attleboro are all sought-after communities for that aspect. So hopefully this goes in the right direction, and I definitely support it.
Thank you. Council Cobus.
And I'll send around the draft resolution that has footnotes with some of the studies. It links to some of the studies that I attached to the original PDF. The other thing that Councilor Lavoie, wanted to mention that Councilor Lavoie was also very supportive of this when we spoke about it.
Thank you. Councilor Sawyer, Councilor Waterman, Councilor Fowler.
I wonder, I know that we had a National Grid aggregate program that I wonder what the cost would be to have our own municipal electric company. I don't know if that's something that's also going to be looked at.
So this is just I'm sorry.
Yep, no, point of order. Was that a point of order?
Yeah, so
Vice President?
this is just to send it to committee.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, sorry.
Just to-
Point's well taken. Nope, don't
No,
worry.
no,
It's
no.
literally your
Just
first time.
recommendation.
Like, don't even worry about it. I think your point was well taken and certainly something to look into. Councilor Waterman.
Well, I was going to say something similar, but I'll rephrase. I think it's a absolutely wonderful idea. And we might be able to put more controls on the cost of electricity when this is finalized, and if it is finalized. I know that there's a wide disparity in the city of what people are paying for electricity right now. And that's something I'd like to see fixed.
Councilor Fowler, and then we'll move to a vote.
My question was just, in what you circulate, will you include the current cost of the city to National Grid?
So I can answer that. Here's what we'll do, just to be transparent. I'm going to ask Mr. Cobus to send that to Virginia so she can disperse it. At this point, your question, that'd be a good time to bring that up. We're going to refer this ultimately, if it's passed as new business, to the Committee on Public Works. From there, we'll collectively work on it as a body, and then we'll refer that to the administration so we can get all the concerns together. That being said, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. That will go to Public Works. That being said, that is all the business we have this evening, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned at 7:56.